What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Hardcore Fab Shop. And yes, if you just read the thumbnail or the title, things have not been going as planned around here. So I've got a bunch of stuff to catch you guys up on. I'm not going to do a whole lot of fab work in this video, just an FYI right off the bat. But I do have a bunch of stuff that has happened, and I'll just say stuff because that's the nicest thing I can say. So stuff that's been happening around here, and it's mostly revolving around that right there. But I think I'm almost there. So I think we're at the point where we're about ready to take this thing down off of here and hopefully be able to drive this thing a little bit more. So if you're interested in that, stick around and I'll catch you guys up. Alright, so if you're still here and you're ready for the drama, here you go. So, you guys know that my troubles kind of started back with my transmission there a while back, acting goofy and kind of wanting to pop in and out of gear and stuff like that. So, I changed the transmission, still had that same problem going on there, and then I assumed that it was the little control box on the side of the transmission. So, I picked up a 400, which you guys can actually see right there. I picked up a new 400 that's fully built, badass, ready to go in there, and I went ahead and put it up on my little lift down there because this thing's a total pain to get jacked up high enough to actually get under it. So I put it on there, lifted it up, and I thought, well, shoot, while it's up here on the lift, I'm gonna go ahead and fix our rear end issue because we did that burnout the other day and all we had was two-wheel peel, but only on one side. So I'll show you guys a video of that if you didn't see it. So generally two-wheel peel is cool, but that one is not. We need to do four-wheel peel. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have this thing up in the air. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a locker in it real quick while it's up, and shouldn't be no big deal. 14 bolt, one of the easiest lockers there are to install, until I went to go install it. And then I'm like, oh crap. So if you remember, the frame steps up there and goes back, and then I put a bar underneath there to kind of hold the chassis all together in case we did decide we wanted to do some lifting here with a little boom on the back or put a little trailer on the back there. So in doing so, that kind of, encapsulates the axle at that point, and I was able to slide it in and out with the forklift, no problem, through the side. But now that I have a bed on there, I don't have enough room in that little hole right there to be able to actually get the rear end to go through the side of the bed. So that means I gotta take the bed off. The bed's got our air tank on it, so we'd have to remove that. And underneath that box, it has pretty much our whole fuel system as well. So I would have to take off that too. And that was a nightmare in the past with everything leaking and stuff. And I really just didn't want to have to deal with all that. So I decided what I would do is actually go in there and chop the frame. Now, let me just get down there and I'll show you. Okay, so you guys can see the frame rail there that goes up and then it goes back. We got our 4-link bars there. Here's our rear end, and there is the bar that's connecting the bottom frame rail back here too, where the drop down is for the hitch. So this bar right here is in the way, so what I decided to do is just go ahead and just cut it out and make a couple flanges and put in here that we could actually just unbolt this section and then drop the rear end down through. So that was the start of things not starting to go well right there. And so we got the rear end out, went ahead and opened it up. It's got a GovLock style locker in it, which was obviously not working, that you can see in the video there, or at least that's what I was thinking at the time. So I thought, okay, we'll open it up. We'll throw a Detroit style locker in there. I got this one from Yukon Gear and Axle. It's already in there, but this is the part number in case anybody's interested. So I got that one in there, but to get it in there, I had to change the carrier because the carrier for the GovLock style locker is different than a regular style carrier, and that one replaces just the spider gears in a regular carrier. So to do all that, I went out to the farm, I snagged another 14-bolt rear end that I had and brought it into town, pulled the center section out of it, and put it all in our housing that we have here. And the ring and pinion and stuff was different, so I went ahead and took the pinion and everything out of the other axle and stuck it all into this one. So I got the locker in it, put it all back up in there, and the side that was not spinning before is still not spinning. I had video of all that stuff for you guys. So this is kind of where my second thing here that happens kind of comes into play. Don't have any video for you guys now of any of that install. That's all gone. Also lost a little bit of footage of putting some bars in up here on the front of the No Regrets buggy build, so don't have those either, but that's only a few bars, so that wasn't as big of a deal as this, but this is completely gone now, so it's part of the reason why I don't have any fab stuff for you. But anyways, I'm rambling here, but the bottom line is that I didn't have a tire spinning on the driver's side of this thing. So it was the weirdest thing. I was trying to figure out what was going on. The only thing I could think of is that, you know, maybe the axle was broken or something, but the axle slid out so that we could get the carrier out, and then it slid back in and you could feel it, you know, wiggle up into the hole and go in. I didn't actually pull the whole thing out, but I went ahead and decided, okay, well, it's got to be something on that side. I'll start with the axle because that's the easiest thing to pull out. So check this thing out. I got this axle out. Look at the end of this thing. See that? Somebody put an axle shaft in here that was too small and only had like 1/8 of an inch actually engaging into the spider gears on the old center section. Didn't take much with, you know, the big motor in the front of this thing and what, 600-700 pounds of rotating mass back here on the back. You know, that was the perfect combination just to pull those right off the end of that axle. So I think that was probably my problem the whole time. I think the locker was probably trying to catch up and re-engage, and then it just didn't have enough because those factory GovLock style are kind of crappy. They're just kind of a spring-loaded, got some little clutches in there and shit. It's just kind of a junky setup. So I think that was my problem. I think it was just slipping and disengaging that, and then when I would let off of it and it would get to where it didn't have any torque against it, then it would re-engage, and then that would be my gears clunking and grabbing and going back into gear. So I've got another axle. I got it put in there now. Got everything all buttoned up, put back up inside there. And now I've sent Julie off to the parts store to get me a new U-joint because, of course, stuff happens. And the U-joint that was in the drive shaft at the end of the yoke where it goes onto the rear end is not working now because the yoke is different now, of course. Couldn't be the same. That'd be too easy. So pop this U-joint out here real quick on drive shaft. And Julie went to go grab us another one real fast. So I'll go ahead and get that popped in here in a second. And then we'll get this thing popped back in there and we'll be good to go. Try it and see if it's actually fixed. So see what happens here when she gets back with that. I guess this does give me a perfect opportunity to show you guys this sweet drive shaft again. I still love that. I still think it's a piece of art just in itself. And once again, I can't say thank you enough to D&R Driveline Inc. They sent me this out and it is an awesome piece and I'm still proud to have it. I wish it was something that you guys could see more often and it wasn't just shoved up in there underneath the bottom of the truck, but it's kind of where it goes. So when she gets back here in a second, I'm gonna go ahead and get a new U-joint popped in there real fast, and then I'll bring you guys back and we'll go take this thing for a spin and see what happens. Well, we got this thing back together, so it's time to go see if it's fixed or not. So I guess I'll hand the camera off to Julie and we'll run it down the road and see what happens.
Hopefully run it down the road. It's turned off yet. Lights on?
No.
Oh.
Okay, let's see if it does it.
Heck yeah! Woo! Yay!
We don't have to pull a tranny.
Yay!
I done pulled a tranny for no reason. headliner.
Right.
But it's fixed.
She's driving.
Seems fine.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Too bad we got rid of the other transmission.
Yeah.
I think that's been all along.
Sad or happy?
Well, I'm glad. And now we're locked in the rear?
Now we're locked in the rear.
Well, there's that.
So
that's new.
We're close to where we can say it's actually done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never done because you always want to fix and change and do things, but done.
Now that it's locked, I don't think you're going to be able to do any burnouts because that's way too many tires in the back for those little bitty tires in the front.
I think we'll be alright. I just need to do a little bit more tuning to make it run a little bit better.
See, always something.
I am definitely right at the speed limit.
Okay.
Do not try to get me to incriminate myself. Cutting out a little bit though, I don't know what that's all about.
Don't you have overdrive?
Yeah, but we're only in third right now, we're not in overdrive. Lock the converter too. And we're only at like 1200 RPM.
Turn up.
And perhaps going faster than the speed limit. More train tracks. Well, sweet, we finally got those problems all figured out, and I think that gets us in a pretty good point here on the truck where we can kind of say that it's getting close to the point where we can be done with it so that we can have more fun with it than we are working on it. So that's pretty cool. I've got to schedule a little bit of time with the tuner so we can get this thing dialed in and, you know, running just perfect and as good as it can possibly be. You guys probably heard a little bit of snapping and popping there in the video, and it doesn't have great throttle response either, so I think a good tune and figuring out some of that stuff would be all we really need to do there, and then we'll be looking pretty good. So we'll be trying to schedule that, get that done, and happening here as soon as possible. And I've also got, you know, here in the next few weeks, month or whatever, something like that, some other big projects that are going to be, you know, finishing up and being done. The biggest one being the car crusher. So we've got all of our parts and pieces in now to be able to actually finish it up. So we'll be getting out there and doing that here fairly soon and crushing some cars. That's going to be pretty sick to watch that big lid come down and smash the hell out of some stuff. So I'm excited for that to happen. I really want to see that. That's going to be pretty cool. We also are making some pretty good headway on the no regrets buggy, so if you guys haven't checked that out yet, go check it out because it's going to be pretty sweet when it's all done. And Connor's been working on hookers and blow. No, Connor's been working on Old Crow, sorry. And he is making some headway on that, so we'll probably be doing an update video on that fairly soon as well. So we can catch you guys up on everything that he's been doing on there, so keep an eye out for that. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell so you get the notifications when the next videos come out. And I guess with that, that's about all I got for you guys on today's video of me just mostly rambling. So next time we'll be back to work doing some cool stuff, and I guess I'll see you then.